Hey folks, what is going on? It's Jacob coming at you on a Tuesday afternoon. A little bit cloudy this afternoon, but still a nice one. Just wanted to bring you some advice, some tips this afternoon. Tuesdays are my one-to-one days. So on a Tuesday, I typically have a couple of calls with either members of my inner circle, my ongoing one-to-one clients, or people who book kind of ad hoc one-to-one consulting, strategic consulting for a shorter term, couple of sessions, whatever it may be. And it's really enjoyable. I really enjoy it, talking to people directly, helping them figure out where they want to go, where they want to take things. And then more importantly, after the call, seeing them implement it and generate awesome results. One of the guys I spoke to this morning just hit his first 50 grand month. He's been working at his business since about December last year, so he's kind of 11 months in, which is pretty awesome. Another guy only started a couple of months ago. He's on track for his first 10K month. And then had another call with the dude, which was our kickoff call, and he's got some awesome assets in his business, some awesome credentials that he can start leveraging, and we're going to be able to monetize those in a big way with a couple of simple tweaks. But it was on one of those calls that a really interesting topic came up that I wanted to talk to you all about today, and it's the argument of I need more traffic, right? Or this perceived problem of I need more traffic. And it's something that I hear all the time, and in a lot of cases, it's a big lie that people are telling themselves, or they've been told by someone else, or that's what they think is the problem. I don't want to talk to you about that in this video today. Before we jump into it, be sure to check out the links in the description. First one's going to get you access to my free private community where we talk all about information marketing. If you're a coach, consultant, course creator, affiliate, you will get a lot of value in there, and we have a good time as well. It's not all work, some play. The next bunch of links is going to be some paid programs you can check out if you're interested in potentially working together on some kind of level. You can have a look at those in your own time, and give the video a like, subscribe, notification bell, all that kind of good stuff. Questions, comments, you can leave them below, and I'll do my best to get back to you throughout the week, or my assistant will. So let's dive into this one. Really interesting topic. So I was on one of these calls, and the gent said, I'm closing my sales at X percentage, right? My sales calls, which had a lot of room for upside. And then he followed that up with, so in order to increase my sales, I just need to get more calls. And this is common. This is really common. People will think that all of their problems will be solved with more traffic. I'd just make more money if I just had more traffic. Traffic to some people is seen as like this mythical creature that if I could just unlock infinite traffic, all my problems would be solved. And in some cases, that's the truth. In some cases, that's the truth. But in a lot of cases, there's so much other shit that people need to fix before they even think about pumping more traffic into it. And especially before they think about spending money on leads to push into an ecosystem. If your conversion is not optimized, right? If it's got a lot of scope for upside, if you've got more and more potential on the back end for ROI, there's a lot more profitable activities you can do than just pumping more and more traffic into something that's already leaking in a big way, all right? This becomes even more of a problem where that leak is time, right? So in this case in particular, the gent is still taking his own sales calls. He hasn't outsourced that yet. That'll come, but he's still doing it himself. And so if that's not fixed and you go and pump more traffic into it, not only are you leaking dollars, but you're leaking time, right? So he's currently closing at like 1 in 3 sales, right? Which is fine. But when you're doing it the way he's doing it, using organic methods, having a conversation with people, getting them on the phone and closing them, that can be a lot higher, right? Like we've got people who do 70, 80, 90% on calls. And once you start, pumping ads and doing it at scale, that's gonna come way down. But while you're the sole salesperson, you're having a conversation with someone, they're reading your content, they're in your group, they're immersed in your stuff, they want to work with you, they get to talk with you, that number can be way, 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 way higher, right? And it should be way higher. So this is something that can be fixed really, really quickly with a couple of tweaks, right? If you're in this situation, the first two things that I would encourage you to look at are qualifications in your sales process around budget and around time. All right, around timing, not time, timing. So around budget, I mean, how specific are you being in qualifying people in or out in terms of budget? Are you using kind of an open-ended, do you have money to invest type question, which can be really subjective, right? Really, really subjective. If you ask two people that same question, in one person's head, that could mean $500. In another person's head, that could mean $50,000. It's really, really subjective. So what I'd encourage is get more specific around that. Give people ranges. Do you have a budget? X to X, X to X, X to X. Then you're gonna know exactly where their head is at and if it is worth you getting on the call, right? Or what's the baseline? What's the minimum? Right? If your cheapest offer is $2,000, say that. Say my cheapest offer is $2,000. Don't say my cheapest. The starting investment for my programs is $2,000. Is this something that you're able to meet? Right? Or is this within your budget? Do you have capacity to invest at this level and beyond? If they say no, there is no point in you taking that call, right? You are wasting your time. And when you are doing a lot of the heavy lifting early days in your business, that time could be redeployed into other activities, right? So that's the first big one. If you're doing a triage call, it's the same thing. If you're doing a 15-minute call into a longer call, ask on that call, what's your budget, right? What's your budget? If they have no budget, don't book the second call. If their budget's too low, don't book the second call. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is timing. People miss out on this one, right? In your application forms, in your qualification processes, ask them, when do you want to get started? Is this something you want to fix today? Or is this next month, next quarter, next year? It is a very, very reasonable question. If they aren't ready to get started now, there's no point having the conversation now, right? And yeah, you might go, oh, but I want to build the relationship and then maybe I can capitalize on it down the track. Have the conversation down the track when they're ready to go. Right? Have the conversation down the track when they're ready to go. You can put them in your group, you can put them on your email list, you can nurture them at scale with content. Don't have the call now. Save the call now for people who have the budget and are ready to go. Same as the budget question. If you're on your triage calls, if you're doing 15-minute calls, if you've got application forms, put this question in, right? If it makes sense, are you ready to go today? Or are you ready to go on the call? Right? You're not locking people in and saying you have to agree to this now. You're saying if it all makes sense and if everything aligns, are you ready to do this today? Those two simple tweaks will eliminate so much wasted time on sales calls with people who aren't prepared to move and get started, assuming all else is good, and people who can't afford it. All right? That alone will fix so many problems. Because once you do that, you will start closing at 60, 70, 80, 90% if you're the person doing the sales calls and you're the person doing the lead generation, which a lot of early stage, info marketers are, which is fine. The outsourcing and stuff will come. But when you are doing it all, you need to be so careful with your time. Because if you aren't, and if you're just giving it out for free, you can really, really fuck up your brand positioning. Why would people pay you if they can get you on the phone for free without any budget to spend money. Why would they bother? All right, so be really, really conscious of that. Budget and their timing, right? In their head, is this a now problem or a tomorrow problem, next week, next month, next year? Talk to people who have money to spend and are prepared to spend it today if all else is equal, all right? The other element that you can look into, which nearly every business, mine included, has more scope for this, is what ROI can I unlock from within my business? And by that I mean, what offers, opportunities, cross-sells, upsells, downsells can I make to my existing pool of customers and clients to increase my ROI on that customer, to increase the lifetime value of that customer, right? The more and more you do that, right, the larger the ROI, the larger the LTV per customer, the better. And when that gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right, to the point that it's essentially infinite, you can do JVs, right? You can do events together, you could do masterminds together, you could roll out a course together. You can do anything. And to the point you've nearly got an infinite ROI or an infinite LTV, you don't have a traffic problem anymore, right? You don't have a traffic problem. You don't need more volume because you can make it up on the back end with way fewer people, right? And I'm telling you, I've done the volume game, low ticket volume, higher ticket volume. More people is more problems. You do not want huge numbers just for the sake of it. More qualified people who are ready to spend money, ready to go today, and you can form a long-term relationship with them across multiple programs, multiple offers, multiple deals, multiple projects, whatever it is that you do, potentially even do JVs, revenue share stuff in the future. That is what you want. Quality over quantity. More people is more problems. Once that is fixed, once the qualifications and the conversion are fixed, once you've at least added some more layers in terms of ongoing income opportunities, then think about traffic. Right? Then think about traffic. Because most people who are putting time into building audiences, building groups, building YouTube channels, there's probably a lot more lifetime value sitting there waiting to be extracted. If you aren't wasting time with the wrong people who can't spend money, who won't spend money today, and you reinvest that back into the people who are in your audience, who are prepared to spend money and are prepared to do it today. Right? When that's sorted out, then you can, go nuts with traffic, because then you're going to be pumping it into a system that at least has the potential to generate you a lot more money on the back end. All right, that's my tip. Most people don't have a traffic problem; they've got a conversion problem, and you don't want to pour more traffic into something that is broken, especially if that broken point is your time. Right? That's like having a bucket that's got a bunch of holes and saying, rather than trying to plug the holes, we're just going to keep pouring more water into it. Fix that, get that fixed. You need way less water, right? Way less water, because it's not constantly leaking out. All right, so I would encourage you this week, this month, reflect on your business. If you've been thinking, I've got a big traffic problem, I need more traffic, I need more leads, look at those things. Qualifying better and extracting more from your existing pool of people, right? With different offers, different programs, JVs, different things that you can do, right? Affiliate opportunities. Finding those avenues and getting more of those in place before you go and pump a ton of money into more traffic that's just going to hit a brick wall after that first offer. Right, have a think about that this week, and I think you'll find some really interesting avenues that you can explore in your own business from a monetization perspective. Check out the links in the description. Give this video a like if it set off any light bulbs. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.